So Louise, great to see you. Not a new face, it's fair to say, for the European Cross Country Championships. This is your 6th one.
It is, yeah.
I imagine, are they all the same? Is it all what's your thoughts heading into Hungary now?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, it is my 6th championships, but really everyone's different. I mean, obviously the course is different, the teams change and stuff. So although I probably may have a little bit more experience than some people, in a way I don't, because obviously it's a fresh kind of page, if you like. Hungary's a blank sheet. So
great. Obviously, everyone's aware of the sort of travel disruptions and so forth. How was your journey so far? How's the European Cross Country Championships been so far for you?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't start as smoothly as we'd hoped, but to be honest, the long journey isn't really unusual. I mean, a lot of trips I've been on before, we've often had a couple of flights and then a long coach journey. So you know, it was a bit inconvenient, but it wasn't anything kind of too unusual.
You said just off camera, obviously, this year the big focus for yourself is the marathon. You've always loved cross-country running, so I imagine you're just delighted again to get out on a British Best and compete over the surface which you first started in the sport.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do love cross-country. It's kind of, I think it's my roots really. It's where I started in the sport, and yeah, it's always great to come back and put on a GB vest and do something I really enjoy doing. And
many notable successes. You've got a bronze medal at the World Cross Country Championships, as well as multiple medals you've won here at the Europeans. This year, it's a very different team in terms of the senior women. You've had, I imagine, a huge range of teammates. What's your thoughts on the collection this year? So you've got Carol Jones, Emily Wicks, Rosie Smith, Ellie Baker, and Katrina Wood.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's obviously it's a slightly younger team maybe than we've had in sort of previous years. I was thinking about it earlier actually, and some of those girls have run very, very quickly on the track. So obviously Elle, Carol, Katrina have run very, very good 5Ks, which I think sometimes will translate to a good European cross. You need that speed to keep up with the best in Europe. So yeah, no, it's good. It's good to see some new faces. The women's team, usually it changed. The faces change a little bit more frequently in the women's team than the men's. To be honest, you kind of in the men's teams you kind of see the staples. You know, you've got your Steve Vernon's, Andy Vernon, Tom Humphreys. Whereas the women's teams, I'm not really sure why, but the faces do change a little bit more regularly. But you know, that's not a bad thing.
No, and then they all certainly rise to the challenge. Silver
Yes.
medal last year.
Yeah.
I'm talking about yourself. What do you, someone who's been in the European cross country for a number of years, have you seen that change now in terms of, particularly in the last 4 years when we have topped the medal table and Britain just come into this dominate this championships? Can you put your finger on what it is in terms of why we're so successful?
I think it's the old kind of adage like success breeds success, and you know, it is massively inspiring when the junior girls kickstart the day. I'll never forget in Brussels when we weren't actually there at the time when the junior girls did the clean sweep of 1 to 6, and just hearing that was amazing, and it was so inspiring to then go out and compete kind of later in the day. So yeah, and I think the fact that the GB squad we commit to the champs as well, so we always send full teams. So obviously 36 athletes, whereas obviously other countries, you know, it's a little bit hit and miss. It can be. So.
And I suppose in terms of being a role model for the sport, I imagine it's great that you feel that you're setting such an example to all those coming through, that you know it's a championship you can come and compete on, and expectation to be successful is not a bad thing, is it?
No, not at all. And I think we've had some great role models that have kind of come through the cross-country ranks as well. Obviously Paula did some cross-country, Joe Pavey, John Brown, some of our best endurance runners have all been through that kind of process of domestic cross-country and then kind of European and world cross-country.
And you talked about Hayley Yelling as well, former winner, and now she's on the support team. How weird does that feel, having been on the start line with her many a times in a GB?
Yeah, no, it is funny. Yeah, I've been joking with her all weekend that she's moved over to the dark side. So yeah, no, it's obviously fantastic to have someone like Hayley who's won the race twice to come, you know, use her experience and help the team.